This is Nightline.
Tonight, the second murder trial of Karen Read.
She said, I hit him, I hit him, I hit him.
Explosive opening arguments in the case that has gripped and divided the Boston community and the nation. Accused of hitting her police officer boyfriend with her SUV after a night out and leaving him to die in the snow.
There was no collision with John O'Keefe.
Defense saying she is the victim of a corrupt investigation.
I've never harmed a hair on John O'Keefe's head.
Is Karen Read the victim of a botched case or a cold-blooded killer? Plus, the scoop behind the latest Star Wars movie starring Ryan Gosling.
This script is just so good.
Thousands of fans gathering in Tokyo for secrets and spoilers. Who else is joining the force?
There he is! Woo-hoo!
And who's returning?
I kept a couple of the lightsabers from my prequel days.
The latest from a galaxy far, far away. And
if I take one more step
on this Earth Day,
it'll be the farthest away from home I've ever been.
Two friends make a real-life Lord of the Rings Hobbit trek to Mount Doom. One hike to rule them all.
From ABC News headquarters in New York, this is Nightline.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us. Tonight, the retrial of the murder case that gripped the country. Karen Read, the girlfriend of Boston police officer John O'Keefe, accused of killing him after a night of drinking. She denies all charges. If today's opening arguments are any indication, this second trial is going to be even more incendiary than the first.
In the Commonwealth versus Karen Read.
We are here today because John O'Keefe was killed by the actions and conduct of that defendant, Karen Read.
From the first moment of the first day,
I'll see you at Sidebar. Come up here.
An explosive start to one of the most followed murder trials of the decade.
John O'Keefe did not die from being hit by a vehicle, period.
More than 9 months after her first trial ended with a hung jury, Karen Read is back in court, accused of hitting her boyfriend, Boston police officer John O'Keefe, with her SUV and leaving him to die in the snow.
Free Karen Read! Free Karen Read!
Read supporters rallying about the courthouse today, calling for her exoneration, saying the investigation into O'Keefe's death was botched.
I will be here to the end. I want change. We have a lot of problems here in Massachusetts, and we're fighting for the right things to be done.
O'Keefe's family solemnly sitting in court, while Read's family right behind her. Read has pleaded not guilty, the judge outlining the charges.
Ms. Read is charged with second-degree murder. She's also charged with manslaughter while operating under the influence and leaving the scene after causing personal injury or death.
In large part, this second trial will be a repeat of the first trial because the information is still the same. But it's what both sides add to it to try to move the jury to one direction or the other that will hopefully create a result, a unanimous result by the jury.
The story you'll hear is about an investigation that was riddled with errors from the beginning, a rush to judgment, conflicted, and corrupted from the start.
During fiery opening statements, defense attorney Alan Jackson and prosecutor Hank Brennan laying out vastly different accounts of what they say took place the night of John O'Keefe's death.
She said, I hit him, I hit him, I hit him.
There was no collision with John O'Keefe. There was no collision. There was no collision.
The prosecution's argument is that the forensics point to Karen Read, that the DNA, the hair sample, the statements that were given both at the crime scene and also following in multiple interviews all point to Karen Read. But for the defense, they're harping on she did not hit him, that the forensic evidence, both in terms of the body of John O'Keefe as well as the damage or lack thereof of that SUV, does not point to the accident or the murder in which the prosecution is arguing.
We were dispatched to an unresponsive male in a snowbank.
Then a cross-examination of the first witness, a firefighter and paramedic from the Canton Fire Department, who first responded to the scene.
Is that you approaching?
Yes, sir.
Seen in this police video that day, presented by prosecutors.
When you looked up when you were trying to help Mr. O'Keefe, can you tell us who you saw?
I saw a middle-aged male, middle-aged female with blood on her face.
That middle-aged female, he says, was Karen Reed. What happened next in the testimony, key to the prosecution's argument.
What did she say to you?
I hit him.
But defense attorneys dissecting the narrative told by the witness.
So you did talk about something other than just the I hit him, correct?
Yes, sir.
When I asked what y'all talked about, why didn't you tell us that?
To be perfectly honest, sir, I did not remember until right now.
If you think about it in terms of pulling apart building blocks, what the defense does then say, well, this fact is incorrect. And what the defense is hoping is that when they pull out enough pieces, the prosecution's case crumbles.
A second witness taking the stand for the prosecution, a friend of John O'Keefe's, whose husband was with him at the bar prior to his death, back again for this trial.
Karen called and the first thing she said was, Carrie, John's dead. And then she hung up.
It all started on a Friday night in January 2022. Reed and O'Keefe drinking with their friends at a local bar. Later that night, Reed says she last saw John after dropping him off at an after party at a fellow Boston police officer's home. She says she awoke in the middle of the night and he wasn't home.
I called a few of his buddies, their wives.
No one had seen him, so she goes to look for him in the car. Reed spoke to my colleague Matt Gutman in 2023.
Now I have an immense sense of dread, like a fright in me that I have not experienced before.
Do you expect to see him like lying on the street drunk?
Yeah.
Or passed out?
I was worried he might have gotten hit by a plow.
Reed meets up with some of John's friends and they all return to the house where the after party was. And then she spots him in the snow.
His eyes were shut and he had spots of blood in different areas on his face and he was still, not stiff, but still.
John O'Keefe is soon declared dead. The investigation is about to explode. Investigators finding a piece of a tail light that they say are from Reed's car at the crime scene, alleging they broke off after she hit him with the car.
I was talking to my best friend on the phone and I said, there's a lot of cops circling. And I said, I think I'm gonna get arrested.
Reed was later charged with second-degree murder, manslaughter, and leaving the scene, and pleaded not guilty.
Would you say that you were angry with John that night?
Yes.
Could you have been angry enough and slightly drunk because he had annoyed you that in the fit of rage you just backed up and
Never.
tried to tap him?
I would never.
Not to try to kill him, but try to
tap him with my 6,000-pound full-size SUV. To hit John's body with my car, no.
ABC News capturing behind-the-scenes footage as Reed prepared for her first trial 1 year ago.
Hiding out like this, you just watch the world pass you by and you're going through the motions, pun intended, and but you know it could all end. I could be convicted.
In the months leading up to that first trial, Reed's defense team arguing in hearings and filings a stunning new theory that the injuries in O'Keefe's body were not consistent with him being hit by a car. They claimed she was framed.
There are people in that house that are actually responsible for his death and who murdered him, and there are others in the house who are covering up that murder.
The prosecution insisting that no one at the party had anything to do with O'Keefe's death, and they deny that Reed was being framed. The homeowner testified in the trial, contradicting Reed's account.
And at no point in time over the course of that evening or the early morning there did John O'Keefe or Karen Reed physically come into your house.
John O'Keefe and Karen Reed never entered my house.
The defense questioning the lead investigator, State Trooper Michael Proctor, on the stand in an attempt to discredit the investigation, asking him to read aloud derogatory text he sent about Reed.
If you could just read the responses from yourself, sir.
Okay, so these came from me. She's a whack job. Yes, she's a babe. Weird Fall River accent, though. No ass.
What, if any, impact did that have as far as your investigation was concerned regarding this?
These juvenile, unprofessional comments have zero impact on the facts and the evidence and the integrity of this investigation.
After the trial, Proctor was suspended without pay and was fired earlier this year following an internal investigation. The core of this trial remains the same as the previous mistrial. John O'Keefe is dead and Karen Reed is being tried for his murder. But unlike the last trial, this time around, there will be some changes in court.
There are some subtle differences, but still major enough to potentially have a different outcome in this case. You have a former juror now on the defense team. You also have two sides, the defense and the prosecution, who basically know the other side's argument because they've seen it before.
The prosecution has also changed. Special prosecutor Hank Brennan, brought in by the state to try the case. The jury pool also looks different this time around. The jury of 18 was selected last week, 9 men and 9 women, of which only 12 will be chosen to render a verdict after closing arguments.
Different people, different opinions, different view on the evidence.
The trial is expected to last 6 to 8 weeks.
I feel great. Today went well. We prepped hard, and I'm just proud of my team.
The effects of this case will ripple throughout Boston for some time. If Karen Reed's convicted, there's going to be an appeal. If there's a hung jury, it's the question of, is she going to get tried again? And if she's found not guilty, will there be an investigation into the police force? Regardless of the outcome, there's still going to be something left in this case.
For much more on this story, watch Impact by Nightline, Secrets in the Snow, the murder retrial of Karen Reed, streaming Thursday on Hulu. When we come back, secrets, spoilers, and Ryan Gosling's childhood dreams, intergalactic details in the new Star Wars movie. Welcome back. Star Wars is one of the most beloved movie franchises of all time, inspiring prequels, sequels, and even huge fan conventions. We went halfway around the world to get on the secrets of the next installment from the galaxy far, far away. Here's ABC's Eva Pilgrim.
This past weekend in a galaxy not so far away, over 100,000 fans from 125 countries gathered in Tokyo for Star Wars Celebration Japan, a 3-day extravaganza for fans.
Star Wars Celebration Japan!
If only we could see you walking around Costco with it. Where are you going next? Okay.
And the directors, producers, and actors who bring Star Wars stories to the big screen.
Love that they clearly have for the two of you.
And he walked on stage, and it was like Beyonce.
When you went to pick up the lightsaber again, were you immediately just like, old friend, you could do this again?
I kept a couple of the lightsabers from my prequel days, and every now and then I'd pick it up and give it a spin.
The biggest news, a new standalone Star Wars movie led by Ryan Gosling, titled Starfighter. Lucasfilm is a subsidiary of Disney, ABC's parent company. Lucasfilm president Kathleen Kennedy revealing on stage that Gosling's love of Star Wars goes back quite a long way.
This is a picture that my mom sent of my bed sheets when I was 5. Yes, she still has them, obviously.
This script is just so good. It has such a great story with great and original characters.
Details are forthcoming, but we know it will feature a new batch of characters to start shooting this fall to release Memorial Day weekend 2027, 50 years after fans first met Luke Skywalker in the 1977 movie A New Hope.
Explain kind of where this fits into the timeline.
Yeah, roughly half a dozen years after the episode 9, the last of the saga movies. We find the galaxy in a very different state than it was in the JJ movies and in Ryan's movie. It's a few years down the road.
Also taking center stage, the upcoming 2026 film The Mandalorian and Grogu. Stars Sigourney Weaver introducing its most beloved character.
Of course, Grogu, like all of you, stole my heart. And, you know, I just saw him in the green room. He looks a little nervous, but I bet he'd like to come out here.
Wow! The movie, based off the hit series The Mandalorian, which stars Pedro Pascal as a mysterious bounty hunter, adventuring with that green creature, Grogu, known by fans as Baby Yoda. The new film, directed by Jon Favreau and co-written by Favreau and Dave Filoni,
We got to work together writing on this together and producing together, and that's a big treat for me.
What they've created, Grogu, the Legacy team made a
Puppeteers,
puppet that became so alive, we didn't end up doing CG. It was like, oh great, well we can make this look really real.
The fun begins.
And another huge reveal, Hayden Christensen, who famously starred as Anakin Skywalker, returning for the second season of Ahsoka, starring Rosario Dawson.
We got him.
There's not much that I can share, but Anakin will be back for season 2.
Thinking back about 19-year-old you, when you first started doing this, could you ever have imagined that this would have been such a big part of your life?
I mean, you know, Star Wars was huge when we were doing the prequels already. I knew that this was going to follow me for a while. Did I have any concept that I was going to, continue with the character? Definitely not. And so to, get to continue my journey with Anakin has been a really pleasant surprise.
I think it's going to be really cinematic and really epic the way that it's written. So I'm just really excited to see where these characters are, and that I am really looking forward to.
Welcome to the rebellion.
From the anticipation of new storylines to the end of another journey, the cast of Andor emotional as they debut their final season.
We care because you care. Thank you so much.
Talk about why it's emotional.
It's emotional because it's been a very intense journey.
If it goes up in flames, it will burn.
We wanted to connect with this community that cares about what we're doing because the story matters to us.
Star Wars, the movies, the shows, somehow seems to transcend generations, like grandparents, parents, children. Everyone seems to watch it and they watch it together. Why do you think that is?
At the end of the day, it's about sort of the human experience. And I think people can sort of identify with these characters and relate to these stories, even though they are really fantastical. And so you get the escapism, but you also sort of get the human lessons as well.
Our thanks to Eva. When we come back.
If I take one more step, it'll be the farthest away from home I've ever been.
Two real-life friends make the trek embarked on by the Lord of the Rings, Frodo and Sam. What they discovered on their journey. And finally tonight on this Earth Day, the one hike to rule them all. James Norbury is an outdoor adventurer and filmmaker. And for 22 days, he was a hobbit.
So my friend and I wanted to recreate Frodo and Sam's journey of hiking from Hobbiton to Mount Doom in New Zealand. So it was kind of like our own little quest.
If I take one more step, it'll be the farthest away from home I've ever been.
They say they hiked and canoed 500 kilometers, the same rivers and trails Frodo and Sam did in the Lord of the Rings trilogy, finishing almost 3 weeks later on the slopes of Mount Doom. Like Middle-earth, our planet is one of a kind.
Even in the fast-paced world that we live in, moving slowly through nature and living simply is incredibly restorative. It's incredibly good for the soul.
And that's Nightline for this evening. Catch our full episodes on Hulu. We'll see you right back here same time tomorrow. Thanks for the company, America. Good night.